introduction to classification of the elements. So we have the introduction about the classification of an elements. In the previous classes or in the previous grades, you have already learned about the elements and their classification. You know, how the elements have been classified. The very simple way you have learned it on the basis of as metals or non-metals. Non-metals. But using that knowledge, you will also study the elements as their periodicity of properties and their classification in a new way. So many scientists have worked over it that how can be elements classified on the basis of their different properties, whether physical or chemical. So the first one scientist who just do this who just do this, his name was Dobrynier Triades. Now its full name is J.W. Dobrynier. He was a German chemist. He was a German chemist, and in 1817 he just find out that the elements in group of three group of थ्री सो तो इसने जो वर्क किया था ही दैट द एलिमेंट्स मस्ट बी ग्रुप्ड in three on the basis of their atomic mass. So he take the basicity of atomic mass. So what does mean by atomic mass? It is the number of protons plus number of neutrons, and it is denoted by A. It is the mass number. So he grouped the element into three on the basis of their mass number, and he named these groups as triads. So he named it as triads. Triads mean there are three elements in this group. And how he find that? He said that the atomic mass of middle element. For example, he just gave lithium, sodium, and potassium. The atomic mass of lithium is 7. For sodium, it is 23. And for potassium, it is 39. And he said that the middle element is having its mass number when we take the sum or the arithmetic mean of the other two elements. Likewise, if we add up 7 plus 39 and divided it with 2, mass number of lithium, the first one, and the third one, 39, then we will get its answer is 23, that is equal to the mass number of sodium. So that's why he called it as triads, because it is having three elements. And he said that the atomic weight of the middle of the element is equal to the arithmetic mean of the other two elements, but it was having its limitations that it was not going to be applied on other elements. So it was a little contribution in the chemistry that is known as Dominier triads. Next we have Newland's contribution, and his contribution is known as Newland octaves. Newland octa mean 8, so it is known as octaves. So in 1864, the more elements have been discovered in 1864. More elements have been discovered, and an English chemist, his name was English chemist name was John Newland, or we can say that J. Newland. He classified the elements in order of their increasing atomic masses. Increasing atomic masses, and he classified the elements in a seven group of seven, and he found that every eighth element had the properties similar to the first one. Likewise, if we are going to make a little block over there, he classified lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon, nitrogen, oxygen, and fluorine. And after that fluorine, he just put sodium, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, sulfur, and chlorine. He found that in the first row we have almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this eighth one element is having the similar properties to the first one. Like the beryllium and magnesium have similar properties, boron and aluminium, carbon and silicon, nitrogen and phosphorus, oxygen and sulfur, and fluorine and chlorine. They have similar properties. Like if we arrange the elements in a row of 7, then the eighth one will have the properties of the first one. So it was a concept that was made by the Newland, but it could not be able to classify all the elements. So all the elements were not be classified by the Newland. So the law of octaves failed to classify. So his law was failed to classify all elements. Next, we have Mendeleev's periodic table. So in 1869, the two chemists whose name was Lothar Meyer in Germany, and next we have Mendeleev. Mendeleev, he was from Russia. At about the same time, they both independently worked very similar to the arrangement of the elements. So they do the of arrangement of elements, and they found that while arranging the elements in order of their increasing atomic mass, increasing atomic mass, then certain their and the chemical properties, physical, chemical, and physical properties are repeated. These properties are repeated in regular manner. In regular manner. So he named this as periodic law or the periodicity of properties. So this was the work of Mendeleev periodic table, that they arranged the elements in their increasing atomic number, and they form a table of elements. And firstly he arranged total 65 elements. 65 elements, and he had arranged in the form of groups as well as in periods. And this arrangement was done in the form of periodic table. So he make a periodic table and arrange 65 elements, and he left the vacant position like this. We have a simple sketch of the periodic table. It is like this, that he arranged almost 65 elements, and he just left over the vacant space for the r- remaining discovered elements. So we have total elements. Its number is almost, firstly 34 elements were discovered, then their number was increased and almost double in 1974, and the number of elements was 105. And after that there are total 118 elements have been discovered yet. So between them, some are metals, some are non-metals, metalloids, and other have many properties like this. So I hope you guys understand about the Mendeleev's periodic table, Dobrynin triads, and Newland octaves. And if you guys have any queries about this, you can ask me about that in the next section, and I will get back to you guys soon, inshallah.